Okay, let's talk about one of the most incredible and honestly most overlooked systems in your entire body. It's working for you right now, this very second, and you probably don't even think about it. We're going to pull back the curtain on your lymphatic system. And believe it or not, it all starts with a leak. So get this. Every single day, a whole bunch of the liquid part of your blood, the plasma, seeps out of your tiniest blood vessels and into your body's tissues. Now, your body's pretty good at pulling most of it back in, but not all of it. At the end of the day, you've got about 3 liters of fluid just left behind, stranded between your cells.
Right? So that's the big question. If you're leaving behind 3 liters of fluid every day, why don't we all just swell up like a big water balloon? Well, the answer is this absolutely elegant, brilliant system that we usually take for granted. To really get why the solution is so cool, we first have to understand the problem. I mean, why is our body leaking in the first place? It all comes down to this constant, microscopic battle of push and pull happening inside you all the time. Yeah, just picture a constant tug of war. On one side, you've got your blood pressure, which is literally pushing fluid out of those tiny vessels. That's called hydrostatic pressure. But on the other side, you've got these proteins in your blood that act like little sponges, pulling the fluid back in. That's oncotic pressure. Here's the kicker, though. The pushing out force is always just a little bit stronger, and that's what creates that constant slow leak. So because of that tiny imbalance, you've got this slow, steady drip of fluid into the space around your cells. And if there was no system to clean that up, it would just build up and up, causing a condition called edema. You know, that puffy, sometimes painful swelling you might get if you twist your ankle? That's what would happen everywhere. So how does our body deal with this mess? Well, this is where our unsung hero finally takes the stage. It's an entire secondary circulatory system built for one critical job: cleanup. And that is the lymphatic system. The best way to think about it is as a giant one-way drainage network. Its main gig is to go around, collect all that extra fluid, scoop up any stray bits and pieces, and then safely return it to the bloodstream so you stay in perfect balance. And the way it's designed is just so smart. Your blood capillaries form a closed loop, right? But these lymphatic capillaries, they just start right there in your tissues. They're what we call blind-ended. And their walls are made of these overlapping cells that form tiny one-way flaps. So when the fluid pressure builds up outside, it just pushes the flaps open and the fluid rushes in. But once it's inside, that same pressure slams the flaps shut so the fluid, which we now call lymph, can't leak back out. It's a one-way street. So what's the journey for this lymph fluid? Well, it starts in those teeny tiny capillaries and then flows into bigger and bigger vessels. But, and this is super important, it's not a direct strip back. Along the way, it gets forced through hundreds of little filtering stations called lymph nodes. And only after it's been cleaned, filtered, and inspected is that fluid finally returned to your bloodstream, right up near your heart, ready to start the whole cycle again. Okay, but cleaning up fluid, that's only half the story. It turns out the lymphatic system has a second and maybe even more important job. It's not just your body's plumber. It's also your top-tier security force. See, when the lymphatic system is mopping up all that fluid, it doesn't just collect water. It picks up any hitchhikers too. We're talking bacteria, viruses, maybe some damaged cells, and even the immune cells that are out there hunting for trouble. So this whole network basically becomes the main highway for your immune system. And that's the key idea. The system isn't just passively draining stuff away, it's actively sampling it. Every single drop of lymph is like an intelligence report from the front lines, carrying information about what's going on in every single corner of your body. It's constantly checking for any sign of invasion. So where does all this intelligence get analyzed? Well, it all goes down inside those filtering stations we talked about, the lymph nodes. You can think of them as these super sophisticated biological security checkpoints. And we're not talking about just a few of these things. The average person has around 600 lymph nodes. They're clustered in strategic places like your neck, your armpits, and your groin, basically forming this massive surveillance grid all over your body. So what are the guards at these checkpoints looking for? They're on the lookout for something called an antigen. An antigen is really just a molecular signature, a unique piece of a virus or a bacterium that your immune system can recognize as foreign, essentially flagging it as an enemy that needs to be taken out. Now, inside every lymph node, you've got this highly organized team of immune cells. First up are the macrophages. Think of them as the guards at the gate. They just gobble up and destroy any bad guys on site.
Then you have the dendritic cells. These are the scouts. Their job is to capture an invader, break it down, and present its enemy's signature, the antigen, to the big guns. And those big guns? They're your B and T cells, the special forces that launch a massive, targeted attack.
And this right here is the moment it all happens. That scout, the dendritic cell, shows the enemy's signature to the special forces, those T and B cells. And that's the green light. It activates them. They start multiplying like crazy and launch this massive, coordinated attack to hunt down and eliminate that specific enemy anywhere in your body. Now, I know this all might sound a little bit abstract, like something happening deep inside you, but I absolutely guarantee you have felt this incredible system kicking into high gear. You just might not have realized what it was. The signs that this whole powerful network is doing its job are actually super familiar to all of us. You know when you get a sore throat and you feel those swollen, tender glands in your neck? Well, spoiler alert, they're not glands at all. They're your lymph nodes. And they're swollen because they are jam-packed with billions of those special forces immune cells, all multiplying to fight off that infection. Or what about the puffiness around an injury? That's your lymphatic system working overtime to clear out all the damaged cells and extra fluid. It's even why your doctor always feels your neck and under your arms. They're literally checking on the status of your security checkpoints. So next time you feel those tender spots, you'll know exactly what's going on. It's the sound of your body's unsung hero, hard at work. It's a drainage system and a bodyguard, all in one. Pretty amazing, right? It really makes you wonder, what other incredible hidden systems are working tirelessly right this moment just to keep you alive?